Well, welcome. This is the 11th annual Ignite. We're excited to have everyone here. Thank you for our speakers for coming out tonight and regaling us with some pretty interesting stories. Also, thank you for coming out and supporting us. This is an annual event for us, and we're happy to see everyone here and hope you have a good time. There is food out there. Please, we probably bought too much. Feel free to take some home, eat it tonight, enjoy it. Tonight is really about just having a good time and gaining some knowledge from our speakers. So first, I'd like to thank our sponsors. You'll see Quantum's logo in a moment, but these are our sponsors. We couldn't have put on tonight without them. Happy to have all of them participate tonight. Also, thank you to Carroll Media Center, the Keller Foundation, and the Arts Council as well for making this possible tonight. Lastly, I would like to give a huge thank you to Molly Sherman. She's been instrumental in setting this up, and quite honestly, I don't think our little nonprofit would be what we are without her. So with no further ado.
Hi, Molly Sherman here with the Tech Minute. Ignite 2023 is just a few short weeks away, so we stopped in at the Ignite Training Center to see what our presenters are doing to get prepared. Once the speaker starts their presentation, they have 15 seconds exactly before the next slide automatically changes. Their timing needs to be perfect.
You didn't let me finish.
Hi, my name is Neil Beller, and tonight,
Even faster.
Hi, my name's Neil Beller, and tonight I'm going to be talking about some kind of thing that I don't even know
We
because
have
of
12 speakers. 12 speakers up here. 12 speakers we have to get to, and you're pulling us down.
Tchaikovsky.
Vince Buscemi has been hosting the event for years now, and he knows what he's doing to get our speakers ready.
John Philip Sousa. Beethoven.
It's Billy Joel. It's Billy Joel. Don't you know Piano Man?
Being a speaker is tough. The lights alone can be blinding.
Stop trying to see the crowd. Focus on your script. Concentrate.
Make sure you save October 18th on your calendar for Ignite Carroll. It'll be a great experience. For most people.
Look, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's okay. It's okay.
So if you would please welcome Molly Sherman to the stage to get us kicked off.
The lights they're really bright. I haven't seen it before, but they are really blinding. Okay. So I'm Molly. I'm with the Carroll Technology and Innovation Council. And there I do a lot of work in digital inclusion, working to grow digital skills and access technology. And that's also what our presenting sponsor, Quantum, gets up to, and that's my segue. Quantum has been bringing last mile access to some of the more rural areas of Carroll County, and they are our partners in presenting Ignite. And I'll let a virtual visit from Kevin Brown of Quantum take it from here.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for that warm introduction, Vince. Or is it Chris? I also hope that introduction was warm. I obviously can't tell because I'm not there. Anyway, we are very excited to be the main sponsor of Ignite Carroll again. It is one of my favorite community events, so I hope you all enjoyed tonight's presenters. I wanted to give you all a brief update on what we've been up to for the last year in the realm of rural broadband. Last year, I talked to you folks about how we'd received grant funding from the state and the county to service over 1,500 homes and businesses throughout our county that does not have access to 25 meg by 3 meg fixed internet access. I'm pleased to report that over the past year, we've received additional grant funding, and we will now be able to service over 3,100 homes and businesses. The 11 grants we've received from the state and county now total over $35 million. Construction started this summer, and we anticipate that it will be finished by September 2026. This photo here is a photo of a directional boring machine that is installing conduit along Broadbeck Road in Hampstead right now. This is what the installation looks like, and it's very low impact. This is what our grant areas looked like last year. This is what it looks like with the additional grants. As you can see, we filled in a lot of unserved areas around Tawnytown, and we picked up some additional areas north of Westminster and also in the northeast part of the county, in addition to a handful of areas in the southern part. We choose where to service based on the FCC mapping data. Traditionally, this mapping data has not been very good, but over the last year, it got a lot better. That being said, we still don't know where everybody is, and there are limited future opportunities for additional grants. So if you live in an unserved area and you don't see your location on that map, please let us know as soon as possible. And now for a brief commercial. I created this video using Vidcast from Cisco WebEx. Vidcast is a new service that basically allows you to create videos and host them in the cloud, kind of like your own private YouTube. You can create videos to share with your employees or your customers. You can use these videos for things like training. There are no ads, and you can also restrict who can see your videos. I think it's a great platform for customer engagement. If you are interested in WebEx by Cisco, which is an excellent collaboration product, and it's integrated into our cloud phone service, please let us know. We have Rich and Regina here tonight. Feel free to take a photo of this slide. Again, thank you very much for having us here. I'm sorry I was not able to make it, but I hope all the presenters have a good time. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Quantum, for helping us put on this event and for doing the digital inclusion work with us. There's koozies out there I saw, most relevantly to tonight. So if you want to grab yourself a koozie or talk to Rich and Regina, they're right out there. And because I have the mic and nobody has it right now, I'm going to share a little bit about why this event is special to me and why I'm excited to share it with you all tonight. So you might not know it by looking at me, but I'm a horse girl. And if you do know it, just don't tell me. Let me live in this. But I was also a horse girl in middle school, which is tough. And I learned pretty quickly that nobody wants to hear about the horse girl's horse or what the horse girl did that weekend or what their horse loves to eat or that horseback riding is a sport. And I can't really blame them for that. But once I learned that nobody really wanted to hear what I had to say, I stopped wanting to say things, and it got pretty lonely. And I did a lot of watching other people talk and interact, knowing that I was definitely missing something. Maybe the horse, but I couldn't do anything about that then. And this loneliness kind of stuck with me until I noticed somebody else in my class having a similar experience. They would go to share the story of their weekend and then have to stop. They could tell that they weren't interested. I actually don't really understand why that happened with her. She was drag racing cars, which is just cool. So I think that just speaks more to middle schoolers than it does to our equally awesome hobbies. So once I saw that there was somebody out there that might be feeling similar to me, I really remember planning this experiment that I was gonna go and try and talk to them and ask them about what they love doing in hopes that she would return the favor and ask me as well. So one day at a middle school lunch table where all the best plot development in middle school goes down, I walked over to her and I asked her about her weekend. And I watched her be a little hesitant at first to give me a full answer, but once she saw that I was gonna stay and listen, she talked a little bit more. And then a little bit begrudgingly, it seems like, but she asked me, and so I accomplished my goal. I was going to be able to have a conversation with her about something that I love too. And we did this dance of sharing a little bit more and more, waiting to see if the other person would leave, and we just stayed. And we became friends under this mutual agreement to hear and be heard. And maybe that's what friendship is really all about. But at least it's a pretty good foundation for it. And during the intermission today, you'll have an opportunity to start your own middle school friendships. And using the questions in your event program you might have been looking at a bit, choose some questions that you enjoy answering, and then go up to a friend, old or new, or not yet discovered, and share the question that you'd like to answer. And then in about 60 seconds, give that answer. And for the person listening, just try and listen and not fill the space, and just let them share and investigate the answer that they want to give you. And then when you are not the person that spoke the first time, then it's your turn. You know how conversation works. I think you guys kind of got that together. And this can happen anywhere. I suggest not doing the bathroom, because I don't think we need practice like active listening in a public restroom. So let's just keep it to the more obvious public spaces. And I just hope tonight that you enjoy hearing each other in the talks that you hear on stage, and then during the Firecracker networking event. And if you're hearing something from someone and you feel that tendency to let your mind drift off, or maybe you've already decided your mind is made up and you've heard enough, or you've got enough going on in your mind to process through, just try to take a second to listen and understand why they might be choosing these words, and how their experiences might have played a part in what they're bringing you today. And realize that they might just want to be heard. So I hope you're ready to hear from some folks. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Vince Buscemi.
Thanks, Molly. Hello, good evening. How is everybody doing? It's so good to see so many of you. Familiar faces, new faces. We've got a great lineup of speakers tonight, so I'm super excited. And if anyone is looking forward to an awkward conversation, I'll be in the bathroom tonight during intermission. Looking forward to that. I think it's a really great idea. And Molly, I think you had a missed opportunity. That was an Ignite speech. Like, I saw the slides behind you. I saw you and your friend. I saw the horse. I saw the conversation. I saw everything. That should have been an Ignite speech. That is what this is supposed to be. Let me advance the slide off of that. There we go. That's the type of thing that we're looking for today, is hearing experiences, people that are excited about things, maybe a different perspective, one that you aren't familiar with, never thought about before, or a different topic that you have nothing and no idea about. That's really what makes this event super, super special. I'm so happy that this is number 11. I've been here from the very beginning. I am a co-organizer, co-founder, and original host for all 11 Ignite Carrolls. So that's really, really awesome. For those of you who are new this evening, you might be saying, what is Ignite? Well, it's 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds for a total of 5 minutes. That is all the time that these speakers have to share something with us, to enlighten us about something that they're passionate about. So enlighten us, but make it quick. There are a few rules and guidelines that I want to go over. So for the speakers, I'm talking to you guys now, okay? Yes, the slides auto-advance. No, they will not stop, okay? Everyone will keep going. If you stumble, like I said before, just take a deep breath, compose yourself, and just jump back into the next slide. Don't try to continue holding on to that last slide, because it's going to be the next slide and the next slide and the next slide, and then you're really going to be lost. So if you get a little lost, don't worry about it. Don't panic. Just figure out where you are and jump right back on in there. Most importantly, though, have fun, okay? This is your night. You're in the spotlight. Yes, This is a bright spotlight, and I can't see anyone, to be quite honest. So, yeah, just think that you're home alone in your own comfortable space, and you're just having a conversation with yourself about something you're super passionate about, and it's going to go great. Now, for the audience, everything on silence. Right now, break out your phones. I want to see everyone. I'm coming over to the light. Make sure it's on silence, please. These presenters are up here. It's very vulnerable to be up here. They're already super nervous. Well, at least I know one person who's really super nervous. He doesn't need to be nervous though, right? But please, distractions, they are major when you're up here and you're trying to think of a 15-second slide and what you want to say, and it's auto-advancing. So please, please, please make sure everything is on silent right now. Now, that's not to say that I want you to put your phone away for the rest of the evening. We want you to be supportive of all of the speakers here, and we want you to share their story. Maybe it's something that speaks to you. Maybe it's something that you've struggled with. We've got some really deep personal conversations that we're going to have tonight. So if there is something that is enlightening you and you want to share it, please do. Because I think all of these speakers want to continue the conversation after they're on the stage. Whether it's in intermission, in the bathroom during intermission, or afterwards, they want to continue sharing their story. So be supportive. Take a picture, not flash. No flashy, okay? Make sure that we have that off. But sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We've got a great lineup here. And let me turn this on. I think, there we go. Perfect. All righty. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, if you're enjoying the show, please share it. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of those social medias with hashtag Ignite Carroll. If you want to poke fun at me, you can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter at Vince Buscemi. That's totally fine. People have done that. It's cool. I don't take it personally or anything like that. It's totally cool. Just don't do it during the show, man. Don't do it during the show. But please, do share it. Have a good time. And we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, away we go. So our first presenter is Mel Brennan. Mel works on sports citizenship and human rights. And his purpose today is to reveal why what you know about sport is wrong, why it's broken, and how we can fix it. Years of working at the highest levels of sport and working to rid it of criminality will culminate in some powerful insights. So please help me welcome Mel Brennan to the stage as he tells us that everything we know about sport is wrong. Mel. Good luck, buddy.
I think I'm going to stay out of the bathroom at intermission. It's too much. So this is my first slide, and it's my first slide because it cracks me up. But yes, everything you know about sport is wrong. I am a child of the 70s and 80s, and sport was everywhere in my life as a child. Basketball, baseball, track, soccer. Division I and Division III basketball in college, even played defensive end for the British collegiate champions, but I wouldn't call any of these sports my favorite to watch anymore. My favorite one is this one, and anybody knows what that is, call it out. Sepak takraw. Sepak takraw is the fastest growing sport in the world right now. It's a combination of ballet, martial arts, volleyball, and grows in Southeast Asia. We might need to click that again. So the reason I'm aware of Sepak takraw is half an adult lifetime working in or working to change how sport works. Understanding where sport fails us is why I'm frowning in that picture. But I began this fundamental truth for sport began with me in February of 2001, where I became the highest ranked African American in the history of world football governance, working at CONCACAF in Trump Tower, the 17th floor. That's my ID. And I left FIFA and CONCACAF in late 2003 and spent another decade and a half working with investigative journalists and friends around the world to shine a light on FIFA's criminality, malfeasance, and in particular, their misallocations. And in the end, President Obama and Attorney General Loretta Lynch and FBI Director James Comey agreed with us and agreed to begin prosecuting. And prosecute they did. In the end, those prosecutions delivered 8 guilty pleas, 12 guilty verdicts, 1 flipped informant, 1 FIFA vice president still on the run, and 1 banned FIFA president. Monumental change, but was it enough? Was it enough? Whether it's, click that one more time, whether it's soccer or sepak takraw, sport is organized globally by continent, by nation, by state, and by age. Here you see CONCACAF, you see the Maryland State Soccer Association, and you also see the lens of youth soccer, MLS, and US soccer. All this delivers what we know we love to see, the best of the best at their best. And of course, there's a power to seeing Lionel Messi or Carly Lloyd or Kylian Mbappe. What we know is that when we experience throughout all sport higher, further, faster, stronger, more, we elevate the possibility of what human beings can do. And we live life imagining shattering the limits of human potential. But these superstars also exist in a context we built. If basketball was a sport that really had a 10-inch hoop only 10 inches high with an oblong tiny ball, who would be our superstars? We'd have an entirely different set of them. We shape the possibilities in sport. And when we see what we've built really 2 forms of sport. One that works for a few of us and one that works for almost all of us all the time. And we give our cultural energy to power and performance sport, the form on the left. Then bodies become tools or weapons, and we define opponents not as tests, but as enemies. And then what happens? The power and performance model kind of stacks youth bodies one on top of the other, and through burnout elite competition, tends to sift through them to find out who's the best. And then we pick 1 or 2 off the top and elevate them until they're about 30, or until they're concussed, or until a shinier, younger model comes along. And for everyone else involved in that model of sport, everyone else gets almost, or not good enough, or should have worked harder. Those in yellow on this slide represent the 18% who end up with lifelong injury from the pursuing elite levels of sport, while the systems around those youth commodify them fully and extract money from their dreams and the pressure, and too often not a lot of fun. And for what? The odds of a single male high school basketball player entering the NBA is 0.06%. We can do better. We can deliver a lifetime of enjoyment of sport without the harms of the power and performance model, and we can build better citizens and community as a result. This other pillar I'm talking about, pleasure and participation sport, properly locates sport competition as with opponents, as with tests. It creates healthy and abiding communities, and it delivers the form of sport accessible from age 5 to age 95. What can you do today? Run for sports office in your location. Challenge anti-democratic norms in sport and prioritize lifetime forms of sport. What else can you do? Tell the truth about the financial sport relationship, particularly as it exploits our youth. Educate your kids and affirm the right to play. It's not in the US Constitution, but everyone, from child to elder, has a right to play, and let's affirm that healthy right to play in our community today.
Yeah. Well done, man. That was fantastic. All right, that's how you kick off Ignite Carroll 11. That was awesome. I think I heard this thing rattling. I'm gonna clip it up here if I can. Maybe not. All right, I don't know. Could you guys hear that rattling a little? Yeah, I think it's this. I don't know if we want to send some tape down or something. We'll tape that down. All right. Great job, Mel. Well, great job. Next up, we have Nina Porter. Nina is a theater major at McDaniel College. She has struggled with negative mental health for some time. And in her talk tonight, she hopes to educate people on mental health, help people who are struggling to know that they aren't alone, and speak out about her own mental health struggles. So please help me welcome to the stage Nina Porter as she educates us and enlightens us on battling mental health monsters. Nina.
So, I have been living with anxiety and depression ever since I was in middle school. I always thought nobody would understand and that I was alone. The truth is that nobody is alone. Why? Well, mental health sucks. They like to make you feel like you are battling alone and that nobody understands you. I'll call it the mental health monster. Mental health monsters like to take control over your thinking and feelings, just like how to control mine. For years, I've been battling this monster, and it made me feel like I have no support. I felt like I was constantly battling alone and that nobody would understand my struggles at all. Every day I walk around wondering if there's other people out there who also have mental health monsters and if they are struggling the same way I am. But it turns out that I've never been alone. Nobody is alone. Everyone have their own mental health monsters that had latched onto them and manipulate their minds. It can be difficult to tell if a person has a monster just by looking at them because monsters live in their minds. Even the most happiest and sweetest looking person can have a monster right inside of them. Your closest friends or family could have one, and even the one you say hi to when walking to work or to school every day, anyone can be struggling with a monster. These monsters are everywhere. They are just invisible. They aren't easy to tame, but they are manageable with the right help and support. I'm currently working on managing my mental health monster by speaking with my wellness counselor on my college campus every Friday. I speak with her about my struggles and thinkings. My counselor also gives me mental exercises to block my monster out of my mind and to calm it down. Therapist also gives the same support. I also have a psychiatrist that I see every month so that I can have extra help, and they prescribe me with medication and diagnose me to lock out the monster out of my mind so that I can't get in my mind at all. There are different ways to get support. Meds aren't for everyone. People can do what they believe can better help manage their own mental health monster. Today, I am working on speaking out about my own mental health monster to show people not only I am not alone, but they aren't alone either. Everyone has their own mental health monsters. Why does mental health monsters latch onto their hosts? Well, that's because these monsters are really lonely and they don't have friends. Spending time with the people you love really helps them to calm them down. Mental health monsters are created by many different reasons. It could be because of a death of a family, constant loneliness, losing a friend, and many, many more other reasons. They all created open doors for the monsters. I know these things because of my own constant battles and reasons. It's really easy to take life for granted. Challenges that you may face may feel like the worst challenge ever, but you're never alone. All you have to do is surround yourself with people you love and to find support that can guide you. Trust me, they will understand. You will never be left out in the dark. I can see you. I know wherever you are and whoever you are is going through tough battles with your own mental health monsters. Just remember that you're never alone. Things may be really difficult right now, but things will get better. Just hang in there. Everything will be okay. Thank you.
Great job. Great job. Really, really fantastic job. Well done. I know that, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. What's that saying that be kind to everyone because you never know what struggles they're going through, like right there in that moment. There's so many internal monsters that you don't see or know about, but checking in with friends and family and making sure that they're cool and okay and helping them out. So fantastic message, Nina. Thank you so much for sharing that. And continued luck with your own monsters and your support system that you're doing in the community. It's fantastic. As you can tell, I'm just killing a little bit of time at the moment for really no reason at all. I love being on the stage. Like the whole world is a stage for me. But right now, this feels like a stage in this moment. Is it me? Is it weird? Is it, I don't know.
You look great.
Well, thank you. Oh, it's, yeah, I've been conditioning my beard. It's this new beard oil that I picked up somewhere locally at some amazing local shop here on Main Street. Hey, welcome back everyone to Ignite. Speaking of being kind, our next presenter is one of my one half of one of my most favorite couples in town. You both are amazing, but I'm so happy that you're sharing the stage with us again tonight. Tina Thomas. I'm sure everyone knows her here and has seen all of the Be Kind signs and all, but this is different. This is not that. I'm going to come back to the script now. I just had to say the positive energy that you share in this community, and I love you guys. Okay, back to the script. Tina is a partnership coordinator working with governments, businesses, social organizations, and change agents to create a kinder world. She also practices yoga and arrives with purpose, optimism, and the pursuit of fairness every day. Tina and her family live right here in Carroll County, Maryland. Inspired by a personal meditation session that was interrupted by loud, angry neighbors, Tina wrote this poem in the hopes that it inspires people to be kind to themselves and, most importantly, to others. So please help me welcome Tina to the stage.
Hi. We'll let Vince get back to his space. Thank you so much, Vince. That's awesome.
You got it. Ready?
Appreciate you. Yes. Thank you. Look at all these beautiful people. It's exciting to be here. We've arrived at the active participation segment of the program. You ready? All right. It's not going to be too crazy. Let's take action to be kind to ourselves. And then we'll take action as we consider what being kind to ourselves and others looks like through a poem that I wrote. The first action for being kind to ourselves is breathing. All right, so take a big, smooth inhale through the nose and a measured exhale through slightly parted lips. Okay. Again, I need this too. A deep, measured breath in, rolling your shoulders back just a little bit. And then a cleansing, relaxing breath out. You're doing beautifully. Now, here's the fun part. Please close your eyes. And sincerely, I'd love for you to have this experience. Please close your eyes, breathe regularly through your nose, relax, and listen for the action cues as the poem unfolds. Just breathe and relax. Please open your eyes and be aware that we breathe the same air. Together in this moment, this is our now. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Yes, you know how. Look to your left. Give your neighbor a smile. Look to your right. Let your smile linger a while. It's okay to share in a glance that we care. Engage with your neighbor. It's about connection, you see. We reflect each other. So radiate your love light as bright as can be. Shine in spite of the knowing that there are people we may meet who are lost in stress, anger, anxiety, confusion, swept up in a crowd of negativity in the street. They may create a disturbance or start yelling. Oh, to yell in this theater would be an alarm, like especially using words like active shooter or fire because they cause harm. And so does loud yelling of angry or thoughtless words, the hurtful kind that play in the theater of your life, that play in the theater of your mind. So speak softly until you discover something nice to say, because your ears, our ears, hear what your mouth will convey. Cherish and be kind to yourself, for you are your lifelong friend. And yes, that means it's yourself and you until it's the end. So in your journey, stay aware. Take a breath in and know that you will find what to do. It will come to you. You will receive reminders. You will see a sign. In that moment, you will be aware of the earth beneath your feet and the wind on your skin, that life is what you create as you breathe deeply in. Stay present and aware. Be still. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You are here. You are now. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Yes, you know how to open your eyes. So the moral of the poem is that everything is energy. Please let go of the negative. Breathe and be the positive. Now please repeat after me. I am light. I am bright. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am kind. Wahe Guru. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Great job, as always. There we go. Such a great job as always. Thank you so much, Tina, for sharing that positive energy. And I do feel relaxed, right? Do we all feel relaxed? Heck yeah. A great man once said, "It's the first days are the hardest days. Don't you worry anymore." Danger at your door. Also, another good one is, if you get confused, listen to the music play. I love that one as well. So, okay, enough about the Grateful Dead. For those of you who didn't pick up on that. Great job, Tina. Our next presenter is Jeremy Roop. Jeremy wants to help build relationships, whether it is personal or in the workplace. In the early years of their relationship, Jeremy and his wife often found themselves fighting due to not understanding how the other one was showing love. Once they learned how to both share and understand love, it set them on a path of understanding and ease. In his Ignite talk, he will share some tools that can help others improve their relationships. So please welcome to the stage Jeremy as he enlightens us on love languages, communicating affection. Jeremy. Good luck, buddy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Rupp, and for the past 15 years, I've been happily married to my wonderful wife, Kia. And for the past 19 years, we have been learning what it means to be best friends and to love each other well. In our early years together, we knew that we loved each other, but sometimes we didn't quite understand how that love was being shown, which led to lots of insecurities and arguments, as if we were saying the same thing, but in two completely different languages. It wasn't until we learned how we were speaking to one another and what language the other understood did we begin to unlock the full potential to our relationship, realizing that roses don't always equate to love, and a thank you goes a long way. Relationships are complicated, and tonight's topic is no silver bullet, but hopefully it will provide some clarity, and that is both my purpose tonight and passion in life, is to encourage and inspire others to love more effectively. There are generally 5 love languages that people have. They are not exclusive and they are not rigid. They are a guide to discover what makes us feel loved. They include quality time, gifts, words of affirmation, physical touch, and service. Quality time is making sure you spend meaningful time with the one you love. This can look different from person to person depending on what quality means to them. But this person values time with their loved one, even if it's doing something seemingly mundane, like doing the dishes. Getting gifts can mean more than just having a material possession. For most people, it's not so much the gift as it is really the thought that counts. It's showing that you value them over money, anything from a candy bar to a golf club. Words of affirmation is letting your loved one know how much they mean to you. It can be saying like little things like, thank you for taking out the trash. And these words of affirmation can come in various forms of communication, like social media or notes left around the house. Physical touch may seem a little obvious since love is often associated with physical activities, but it's about human contact. It's feeling someone's presence with you. It can include cuddling or tickling. These can provide comfort and security for people. Acts of service is helping or assisting your loved one with something that they need or want. There's no shortage of these opportunities, anything from running errands to opening a car door, and not when you feel like it, but when they want it. Which leads to an important aspect to all of these. You must be sincere in your motives. It must come from a place of love and a desire to show your loved one that they mean something. It's about them, not you, so don't do it begrudgingly. I used to serve my wife and then tell her, you better remember this, as if I was saving up all my good deeds for when I messed up. I was wanting something in return rather than just expressing my love for her. Love should not be a quid pro quo situation. Not only do you need to be sincere, but intentional as well. There are many distractions vying for your attention. You must make sure that you're putting forth the effort and make it count. Show your loved ones that they are a priority to you. It takes plenty of practice and trial and error. They may like jewelry, but not necklaces because maybe the kids grab at them. It can seem frustrating at first, but keep at it. Every step is knowing your loved one even better. Eventually, you can double or even triple up. My wife loves when I play with her hair, which is something I cannot relate to. But by doing so, I'm giving her an act of service, we're spending quality time together, and there's physical touch involved. Be aware that how you show love is not always how you understand it either. For instance, I show love by acts of service, but I feel uncomfortable when people do things for me. I feel like I am now indebted to that person. And this is more than just for married couples. This can be applied to parent-child relationships, grandparents, relatives, friends, co-workers. The method will change with each relationship, but ultimately, people just want to feel loved, respected, and accepted. If you want to learn more about love languages or even take a quiz to figure out yours, you can go to 5lovelanguages.com. There you'll find several books and additional resources from Dr. Gary Chapman, who developed this concept and has expanded upon it. For more of my thoughts and ramblings, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Alterations Media, and that's alter spelled with an A. I try to share encouraging and uplifting content with a biblical emphasis. I want to thank the Tech Council for inviting me to come and speak tonight. I also want to thank all of you for your time and attention during my talk. I hope everyone was able to have some sort of takeaway, but ultimately a desire to improve a relationship that you have. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. I am just loving these presentations. So much positivity, so much good energy and vibes. It's like buzzing all through my body. Speaking of buzzing, are you ready, buddy? I encouraged Rick to maybe imbibe a little bit on his presentation today. He's having a moment, but you're going to be great. You're going to be great, dude. You're going to be absolutely great. I can't wait for this presentation. Let's build it up. All right, now Rick Glass has been working in the cannabis industry for the past 5 years. Cannabis has saved his life, and he has seen it increase the quality of life for so many others. There is a lot of stigma or hang-ups still surrounding cannabis, but Rick hopes we can start to look at this plant from more of a scientific approach and see how it could possibly benefit our lives or others. He hopes that after the talk, the audience will have much more of a respect for the cannabis plant and understand that it's not just about getting high. So please help me welcome once again Rick Glass as he enlightens us on cannabis. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, man. My name is Rick Glass, and I'm the community liaison for the dispensary in Westminster, Maryland. I've been working in the cannabis industry for the past 5 years. I'm a lifelong Carroll County resident and graduated from Westminster High in 2001. I then joined the Marine Corps after graduation and went through 2 combat tours in Iraq. While alcohol was always an issue in my life, after my deployments and being diagnosed with PTSD, I was drinking much differently with higher volume. I let alcohol control me for the next 12 years. After a few futile attempts at sobriety, fast forward to 4/19/2017, I was arrested in Westminster for a DUI. The next day, I checked myself into the Martinsburg VA hospital. My alcohol-free date is 4/20/2017, National Cannabis Holiday, which is a huge part of my story and was not using cannabis at this time. I was not a cannabis consumer growing up and often judged people who used it, thinking it makes you fat, stupid, and lazy. I knew very little about it, but connecting with other veterans and hearing their stories about how much success they had with it, I had to relook at this plant. Cannabis has saved my life. Working in the industry, I have seen and heard so many success stories that it would be irresponsible for me not to share this information. As we all know, as of July 1st, 2023, anyone over 21 can purchase cannabis at a registered dispensary in Maryland. Everyone has an endocannabinoid system, whether we like it or not. The endocannabinoid system is a biological system in the body that helps regulate and balance key bodily functions. Studies show that up to 70 to 80% of medical schools don't even teach about the endocannabinoid system, which I think is criminal. When we consume cannabis, we are taking phytocannabinoids and affecting a system that is already in place. People are using cannabis for so many reasons, from pain reduction, anxiety, cancer, sleep issues, to reduce opioid use and assist in recovery, and so many others. There is so much more to this plant than CBD and THC. On a very basic level, CBD is the non-psychoactive compound and THC is the psychoactive compound. There are so many more cannabinoids like CBN, CBC, CBGA, and THCV that could assist someone for their personal condition. I see it very often that people think the higher the THC, the stronger the cannabis. Not necessarily. An analogy I often use is THC is your gasoline, terpenes are your steering wheel. Terpenes are essential oils in cannabis that give cannabis its distinct smell and flavor. They also guide the effects. What I ingest before I go to the gym and what I ingest before I go to bed are 2 different things, and not based upon the THC percentage, but based upon the terpenes that give me the effect I'm looking for at that moment. With anything that we ingest, we should do a cost-benefit analysis, and we should always have knowledge of potential side effects. I think we need to open our minds to this medication and see how it can benefit people and benefit this community. I haven't used a single prescription medication in over 6 years. And while my addiction and certain behaviors I participated in, I am ashamed of, I am unashamed that I am a daily cannabis consumer. Like any medication, cannabis isn't for everyone. Cannabis does have a psychoactive component, just like many prescriptions do. And with education, I think people can use this responsibly, reduce medications, or get off of them altogether. I know there are many who were opposed to the legislation for adult use cannabis, but 59% of this county voted in favor of it. We have been dealt a bad hand when it comes to cannabis education, and I think it's time we open our minds and our hearts and see how many people are benefiting from this plant. The information we have, while limited due to cannabis being on the Schedule I drug list, has increased immensely. Cannabis consumers are here, and we aren't going anywhere. I'm sure there are many in this room, and it's time we become more vocal. We are members of this community. We are employees, employers, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, veterans, just trying to get healthy. I have seen so many people in recovery successfully and responsibly use cannabis. I have also met people that have no business using cannabis. That should be dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and we shouldn't be making absolute statements like cannabis is going to make you relapse. Unfortunately, I have seen and heard, because it happened to me, people feeling judged on their cannabis consumption or not feeling welcome in certain settings in this community, specifically some of our recovery programs. It's not a secret that Carroll County has a huge drug issue, and I think it's time we all come together and truly try to help each other, regardless of the medication we choose to consume. I think we all need to show each other more compassion and understanding and be able to see why someone else could benefit from this, even if you are personally against it or had a bad experience yourself with no knowledge at the time of what you were consuming. While there are psychoactive effects from cannabis like any medication, I can say that cannabis is not about getting high, but about getting healthy. It's all about education, responsibility, and honesty. And with any medication, please keep it out of the hands of your children. I want to thank everyone at Ignite who helped put this event together and gave me this platform. I want to thank an amazing staff at the dispensary that is grinding every day, helping so many in this community. And I want to thank all my friends and family for coming to support me. And a special thanks to my amazing wife, Kelly. I truly wouldn't be here without you.
You did it, dude. You did it, dude. Well done. Seeing this guy absolutely falling apart leading up to his talk and then hitting a grand slam home run up here is what Ignite is about. Truly, truly great job. And I mean, there's so much to unpack there. So much that we all can continue talking about. I mean, I've got goosebumps thinking about it, and it wasn't the 20 milligram edible you gave me 2 hours ago that's finally kicking in. But if you want to talk to me more about it, I'll be in the bathroom during intermission, which just happens to be coming up right now. So, remember, we have the firecracker game networking event that's going on now. So we still have, I believe, refreshments. We've got the beer and drinks. We've got food. So mingle, but also introduce yourself using the talking points in your program, right? And yeah, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a great time. 20 minutes. So let's try to be back here by 7:15. Okay? Everyone good? All right. Halfway through. All right, folks. I think we're just waiting on a few more people to come on in. So take your seat and hopefully we're all having a good time. We having a good time tonight? Yeah. The quality of the speakers have been fantastic so far. I can't wait for the second half of Ignite, Carroll. People are slowly but surely coming in. I know Candace is here, so. Yeah, right? All right, we ready to end this intermission? Yeah. Think so? All right, let's kill the house lights. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Ignite Carroll 11. Our next presenter is Candace Berger. Candace is an award-winning cosplayer and published author who will share her journey with us as a competitive costume designer. Candace will share her experiences getting into competitive cosplay, as well as the process of costume creation, teaching an old dog new tricks, and, oh, this is a mistake, making as an adult. Is that right? You're going to teach us how you made it as an adult? Is that what you're saying? You're not growing up. I love this. Okay, this is fantastic. All right, everyone. Kicking off the second half of our intermission. The second half of our Ignite is Candace Berger. Please welcome her to the stage as she enlightens us on crafting character, exploring the world of cosplay.
I can't see you. My name is Candace Berger. I'm the manager of Exploration Commons at 50 East. While you may know me as Candace, far more know me by my cosplay name, Plexi Cosplay. I'm a published author and content creator in my spare time. My best performing post this year has garnered over 3 million views across 2 platforms alone. My resume is a colorful one. I've been a zookeeper, a bakery owner, a vet tech, a marketing manager, and even an assistant to a state representative. I've been asked to talk to everyone about cosplay, how I got into it, and what it is, my origin story, so to speak. So buckle up for a Cliff Notes version of my life. Let's get a little weird. About 15 years ago, I was living in Houston, Texas. I spent years earning college degrees in psychology, neuroscience, and biology. I was chasing a childhood dream. I wanted to be a zookeeper, but I felt a void. Something was missing, and I had to eventually admit it was time to move on. There's a saying, don't cling to a mistake because you spent a lot of time making it. Zookeeping wasn't a mistake, but I wasn't about to invest the rest of my life in something just because I'd spent years getting to this point. And you can imagine yourself in this situation. What would you do? Long story short, I bounced through a series of jobs and consciously worked to answer the question, what am I passionate about? The answer eventually came to me. I love making, so I started making. I made cakes, art, and even some tiny humans. And then I started making costumes. More on that later. I realized that it's easy to know what your passion is when you think about what you do when you have time off of work. So let's get into it. What am I passionate about? I love costume design and cosplay. It's a form of art and making. In fact, the word cosplay is just the combinations of the word costume and play. Admittedly, I only really like the costume part. Cosplayers often spend considerable amounts of time researching and designing their costumes, sourcing materials, sewing or assembling the outfits, and mastering techniques to achieve accurate representations of the characters they portray. The reason that I got started was surface level. I really wanted to meet Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's of the then popular show The Walking Dead. He played a terrible villain, and he was going to be at a local convention doing photo ops. But I couldn't meet him as just myself. I'm awkward, I sweat profusely, pretty sure I might throw up. Even worse, I'd say something horrific that would haunt me for the rest of my life, so I decided to dress up or cosplay a character. I made a plan, found a romance novel adorned with a Fabio-esque character and a loving embrace, and I left the convention with more than just a photo and a cringeworthy story. Because during my time at the convention in costume, I was approached by numerous attendees who shared their enthusiastic support for my costume. I knew this couldn't be my last. I had a lot to learn. Started with YouTube tutorials, practiced with the recommended materials of EVA foam and contact cement. Then I put myself in scenarios where I was around the people who inspired me. Many of those people became friends, mentors, and private instructors. There's a Chinese saying that goes, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help somebody. It was time to give back, and after getting an amazing offer for a marketing job that was in my line of work, which was marketing at the time, and having no spark of passion like I would have expected, it's the first time I realized what I truly wanted to do. Spoiler alert, it was not marketing. When I declined that job offer, I decided to continue my costuming at home. I had drummed up a substantial side business at home selling patterns and costume pieces, earning money from guesting at conventions, and I would keep making educational videos and supporting the community that had accepted me so unequivocally from day one. I even had the privilege of co-authoring a book about cosplay and costume design. It's titled Armored Up Thermoplastics, which was published by C&T Publishing. This was a monumental effort by collecting input and tutorials from experts in the community to create one amazing resource, and it was a privilege to be a part of it. I made a life for myself, making costumes in my home, taking care of my kids, sharing my love of cosplay with the community at large. I competed, I shared, and I educated, and I still do to this day. I'm active on social media channels like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. I find that keeping a social presence is like having a group of friends there to cheer you on. And then I saw a Facebook post from CCPL, the library. We're looking for a manager of their brand new space, Exploration Commons. They had a makerspace outfitted with all of the equipment and software I'd already been using for years. It was like my house was turned into this large community space with a focus on education, technology, and access. And bonus, that weird resume finally paid off. What are the chances? The past year and a half has been a whirlwind, and it's been a privilege. If you think I've simply molded my cosplay interests into my work time, you'd be wrong. I've only expanded my hours from off-work hobby into a full life of creating, making, educating, networking, and sharing. While my more specific projects typically end up happening at home, I'm able to use my bottomless well of ambition and enthusiasm for cosplay as a source for energy and excitement for community members, partners, and guests of our space. The key to integrating passion with your work is setting healthy boundaries. I refuse to be consumed by my passion or muffled by my work. I believe I was hired partly for this reason alone. Cosplay is more than just dressing up as our favorite characters. It's an art form that allows us to become the heroes and heroines we admire. It's a celebration of creativity, craftsmanship, and dedication. It's a vibrant community that embraces diversity and encourages self-expression. But above all, cosplay is fueled by unwavering passion. Embrace our inner heroes and heroines, for it's through the lens of these characters that we discover our own strength and inspire others to do the same. Thanks.
Well, that was fun, right? Hey, I have a question, Candace. What is the average number of characters that someone in cosplay has? Is there such a thing?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, that's a range.
It is. So if someone could just be one character and that's their everything every time they go out. Others could be hundreds of different characters. That's awesome. Really cool. I'm already thinking about mine. That edible's still kicking in. No one met me in the bathroom during intermission. I'm going to go back there afterwards. We're going to talk about my cosplay. I'm not going to invite you to the bathroom because that would be weird. Candace, I just said that out loud. I realize I need to bring it back now. Okay. All right. So, our next presenter, Kim Pellegrino. Kim's talk. A little ambitious there. That's all right. Go ahead, Kim Pellegrino. That's how we're going to do the second half, folks. That's how it's all right. Here we go. Her heartfelt wish is that we take away the understanding that embraces these ideas can genuinely make life better. As a devoted wife and mother of 4 boys and a dedicated caretaker of her beloved family pets, providing for her family is a fundamental driving force, inspiring her to achieve greatness in the real estate industry while securing a brighter future for her loved ones. For Kim, it's more than just transactions and properties. It's about the profound impact she can have on the lives of her clients, the industry, and the community, especially through relationships where the people she comes in contact with feel heard, understood, and supportive. For Kim, success isn't merely about buying or selling properties. It's a commitment to being a source of support, strength, and guidance, making dreams a reality and forging connections that endure the Go-Giver way. Please help me welcome to the stage Kim as she enlightens us with the 5 laws of stratospheric success.
All right, now that you saw a sneak peek there. What's the one thing above all else that makes Westminster such a wonderful place to live? Friends, today I want to share about an inspiring story that revolves around a set of principles that have the power to transform not only individual lives, but entire communities. This book, The Go-Giver by Bob Berg and John David Mann, is the inspiration for my community project, The Faces of Westminster. You see, in the story, Joe is in a slump in many parts of his life. We've all been there. Maybe you can relate. I know I can. He really is your average Joe. Like most stories, Joe goes through a life transformation. He learns about the big trade secret, the secret of success. And surprisingly, it's just one simple word: giving. Yes, exactly, giving. That's the secret to success. That seems almost too simple if it were true, which it couldn't possibly be. Most people laugh at the idea of giving being the secret of success, but most people aren't as successful as they wish they were. Uh-oh. At the heart of the Go-Giver are 5 laws, which hold the key to living a life of meaning, purpose, and prosperity. These laws are not just principles for business success, they are guiding lights for navigating life's journeys. You see, this book changed the way I do things, the way I try to live my life. To me and over 1 million other people, translated into 31 different languages, became a movement, the Go-Giver movement, and it's based on 5 principles. 1, the law of value is all about giving more than we receive. Imagine giving something valuable to someone without attachment to what you'll get in return. It's like spreading kindness and helping others just because it feels right. The law of compensation is a reminder that the more people you genuinely help, the more reward you'll reap. It's like saying the more goodness you share, the more goodness comes back to you. The law of influence emphasizes the power of putting others first. When you truly care about people and their needs, you naturally become someone they trust and admire. It's like becoming a trusted friend through your kindness. The law of authenticity is about being your true self. No masks or pretenses. When you're genuine, people can connect with the real you, and that connection builds trust. It's about being real with ourselves and with each other. The law of receptivity reminds us to be open to receiving goodness in our lives. Just as we give, we must also accept kindness, opportunities, and love from others. When we welcome positivity, we create a beautiful cycle of giving and receiving. The principles found in the Go-Giver deeply inspired me, leading me to create the Faces of Westminster. It's a celebration of all the great people who live and or work here and positively impact our community in some way, big or small. This project embodies the 5 laws. Value as we give selflessly by sharing stories, adding immense worth to our community. Compensation, we serve our community, recognizing and celebrating contributions, fostering abundance and goodwill. Influence, by putting others' interests first, we built authentic connections, influencing positive change. Authenticity, we embrace diversity, creating trust and genuine connections as residents can be their true selves. And receptivity, we foster an open-hearted environment, welcoming others' stories and experiences, completing the cycle of giving and receiving. The Go-Giver teaches us that these 5 laws aren't just keys to financial prosperity, but keys to living a life of fulfillment, purpose, and connection. The Faces of Westminster beautifully illustrates how these principles can transform a community and, in doing so, inspire us to lead more meaningful lives. I'm reminded that I wouldn't be on this stage if it weren't for the Faces of Westminster. This project reflects my deep desire to serve our community, connect with people, and offer value. It's proof that when we give to others, opportunities unfold and the world embraces us. I firmly believe that the principles of the Go-Giver are life secrets, waiting to be unlocked by anyone willing to embrace them. I extend an open invitation to all of you. Explore these ideas, dive into the book, and you'll discover a path towards personal growth and fulfillment. Let's take a step further. Let's reach out. Let's come together over a cup of coffee. Let's engage in the profound act of conversation. Together, we can continue to create ripples of positive change in our community and beyond. Thank you for this opportunity to serve you and our community. As this, my friends, is what makes Westminster such a wonderful place to live.
Well done. Great job. That's all right. I love that. I love folks sharing positivity in this community and putting folks that are doing that good up on a pedestal in this format and saying, hey, this person's doing really, really good right here in Westminster, right here in Carroll County. I love hearing those stories. There's so many of us here tonight. In fact, probably all of us, I'm going to say. So thank you, Kim, for sharing that. Our next presenter has asked me for the very first time to attempt to pronounce her name the right way. Everyone else is pronouncing it like you see there in an American way. And I am going to try to say this with R's that roll off of my tongue. You don't remember last year with the French, all the French words that I messed up in the ballerina presentation? All right. Diana Flores. Nah, it was terrible. I tried. I tried to just let it happen. I'm so sorry. I really, like, you don't know the pain. I practiced so many times. I'm so sorry. I can't. There's like something in me that, like, it's probably the beer or the edible that I had earlier. Diana is a 20-year-old founder and executive director of Conectando Us, a nonprofit serving the Hispanic community in Carroll County, Maryland. Diana graduated from Winters Mill High School in 2021 and is currently studying business management at Carroll Community College. Her voice and her passion have landed her many exciting opportunities, such as being featured on the NBC Today Show and serving the Maryland Youth Advisory Council. Diana works hard to break systemic barriers and to create a trauma-informed world. So please welcome Diana as she enlightens us with her talk, Connecting with Mis Reces. No, I tried again. So, it's the R's. Please help me welcome. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's really okay. A scared 4-year-old little girl enters a classroom where everyone is speaking a language she doesn't understand. 16 years later, the same little girl steps onto a stage with bright lights. This time she understands a little more, and she's maybe just a little less scared. On August 6, 2003, 2 teenagers became parents of a newborn. My parents, being kids themselves, poured all of their love and more into me. We were continuously met with an entire community of support in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. Financial challenges led my family to Carroll County, Maryland, where my younger sister and I started school. In 2007, I started pre-K, and it was clear that the ESOL program lacked support at the time. Although I quickly learned the language, I had feelings of loneliness and disconnection. However, my parents' unwavering academic support enabled me to be able to perform above my grade level, which became evident when I reached kindergarten. In 4th grade, a girl from El Salvador was placed into my class, partly because I was the only other Hispanic child in the grade. I deeply empathized with this girl. I wanted to ensure that she didn't feel as alone as I once did. I noticed that she was already receiving more support from teachers and other adults in the school than I had received. And yet, I still wanted to offer more. Despite continued academic success, high school revealed the inadequately addressed mental health struggles I had carried. In my junior year, COVID disrupted my support systems. I received media attention for my efforts to foster connection and community among my peers, though I initially felt unworthy, thinking I had done it for selfish reasons. But with time, I realized that by recognizing and addressing my own needs, I was helping others facing similar struggles. Starting college, I was finally in a place with people who looked like me and who shared similar experiences. Yet, I still felt disconnected, struggling on the line of being American enough or Mexican enough. 5 weeks into the semester, my family received news of my grandfather's critical condition in Texas. We took the first flight we could. As my grandfather fought to stabilize, I was able to return to school on October 4th, 2021. Arriving home, my dad informed me that earlier that day, my grandfather, mi patiodolo, had gone into cardiac arrest, and they were not able to resuscitate him. That night, my family drove back down to Texas. On October 10th, 2021, we had a memorial service for him. On October 13th, 2021, we made it back home at 5 a.m. That night, I stood on this very stage, and I spoke to you all about surviving my suicide attempt back in April of 2021. Many of my mentors questioned my decision to miss a month of classes to go see my grandfather and to be there for my family. But there was never a moment of hesitation for me. My family needed me, and and I needed them. And I would never regret choosing community and connection in that moment. But catching up on missed classwork while dealing with my grief and feelings of loneliness and disconnection, I had to make the tough decision to take a break from school. And although this was the best course of action for me in the long run, in the moment, I felt like a failure. I felt like I had let down my entire family and an entire community of people who believed that I would do great things in life. In the following months, I battled deep depression, finding some solace in moments spent with my family. But it wasn't until I was invited to contribute to a community project in April of 2022 that I began to feel like myself again. In May of 2022, my dad told me that he was finally seeing the light come back into my eyes. And he encouraged me to start an organization helping Hispanic children get into college. I began researching how to start a nonprofit, and in June of 2022, my dad and I signed a lease for an office space. That summer, I sat on my grandmother's couch in Texas, talking to her about my dream, reflecting on my grandfather's legacy, and drafting my business plan. In September of 2022, we opened our doors to the community. And over the past year, I've grown immensely by pouring my heart into something larger than myself, but also by pouring my heart into myself. And throughout it all, I have been continuously met with an entire community of love and support right here in Carroll County, Maryland. This is not just a talk or a topic for me. This is my story, my heart, and my roots, mis raíces, being shared with you all, my community. And now I invite you to join me in working to break systemic barriers and to create a trauma-informed county through connection and community so that we can see true growth and healing within ourselves and others. Thank you.
Well done. Fantastic job, fantastic job. Apologies again. I'm so sorry. I really am. Our next presenter is Grayson DeSalvio. Grayson is a pianist, an online content creator, political enthusiast, and history buff. He is currently studying political science at McDaniel College and taking piano lessons from a jazz musician. In his free time, he enjoys watching the news, exercising, cooking, knitting, art projects, and hanging out with friends. He deeply enjoys politics and hopes to share his knowledge and passion with the audience, as well as President's favorite sources of sustenance. So please help me welcome Grayson as he enlightens us on the presidential Pilates, the taste at palates. I don't know why I said Pilates. I really don't. That's like the weirdest thing ever.
I made the same mistake.
You know, it's like you like look at something and it just kind of comes right out, and I just kept going. And I'm like, that's really weird. Can you imagine, like, like I don't even know Pilates. I don't even know yoga. We've got yoga instructors here, so I can lean on you guys. Okay, presidential palates, their taste for plates and policy. Give it up for Grayson.
My fellow Americans, today I'm here to share my passion for politics and my passion for food. I hope everyone can become more engaged in politics after this. We all know politics can be polarizing and oftentimes frustrating, but after this presentation, I hope to humanize some of the men and hopefully women in the future who have served as president. First up, Ronald Reagan. He was the governor of California. He was known for his American government is the problem, not the solution. He had a great personality. He was a very popular president. He is known for trickle-down economics, although a lot of people never saw that trickle. He inspired millions after the Challenger disaster, and he survived an assassination attempt with skyrocketing popularity ratings. He was also the governor of California. He was a heavy pipe smoker, and he successfully used jelly beans to help him overcome his addiction. I love jelly beans. He even gave a jar to Bill Clinton, and he also got a 3.5-ton shipment of red, white, and blue jelly beans when he was inaugurated in 1981. That's him and Bill Clinton, in case you didn't know. Joe Biden, he was the vice president as well as a senator from Delaware for 36 years. He became the 46th president of the United States in 2021. He has passed COVID-19 relief funding. He withdrew from Afghanistan and has navigated a chaotic foreign relation policy. And also, he appointed a Supreme Court justice. You scream, I scream, Joe Biden screams for ice cream. His favorite flavor is chocolate chip, no mint though. Yeah, he frequently eats it on the campaign trail. I love ice cream too. He drives a 1967 Chevrolet Corvette. He's known for aviator sunglasses. I personally can't pull them off, but it looks like he can. So next is Jimmy Carter. I was going to dedicate it to him, but he's still alive. He was a Washington outsider, and he was in charge of a government when America wasn't doing so well. He did secure a few diplomatic wins known as the Camp David Accords. He founded the Carter Center with his wife Rosalind Carter, dedicated to human rights. He is 99 years old, and his 42-plus year post-presidency will likely remain what he is best remembered for. He's written more than 30 books, isn't that amazing? And taught Sunday school, and survived cancer. So, wow. His favorite food is collard green, eggs, country grits, country ham. He was a Southerner through and through. Peanuts aren't exactly his favorite, but he is known for it. In fact, he flew what's called Peanut One during his campaign, a play on Air Force One. Anyway, next up is Kennedy. He won in November 1960. It was a close election. Television played a big part. It was times are changing in America. He helped inspire men on the moon. He fought for Social Security improvements and establishing the Peace Corps, and also raising the minimum wage and navigating the Cuban Missile Crisis. Unfortunately, he died. In 1963, Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson assumed office, and he worked with civil rights advancement. Although he was criticized for the Vietnam War being out of control and his lying to the media. By 1968, Johnson's popularity was at an all-time low, and he declined for the nomination. And in this image, President Johnson is overcome with joy and excitement. Seriously, though, I wouldn't want to cross paths with him. He died of a heart attack in 1963. He was 64 years old. Rest in peace. Alrighty, John F. Kennedy was a New England native, and he loved a bowl of clam chowder. And Johnson, being from Texas, loved extra spicy deer sausage and snacking on eggs, freshly baked bread, and peach preserves. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
That was great, right? That was entertaining. I think Jimmy Carter would love that this was dedicated to him, even though he's still alive. Who cares? I think Carter. Someone should tweet at Carter and include Grayson and say what an amazing job Grayson did on that presentation. Thank you so much for sharing that, buddy. Well, here we are again. The weirdest moment is when we get to the end of Ignite. I want to thank Molly and Chris and everyone at the Carroll Tech and Innovation Center for putting this on, because this Really has been a very smooth sailing event. Everyone here at the Carroll Arts Center, give it up for them really quickly, please. And the Community Media Center, who's recording all of this, will be available online in multiple different social media outlets, and including on the local channel 19 and other channels, so pay attention there. Everyone's doing a great job. And here we are. We're at the end, and it wouldn't really be an Ignite ending anymore if we didn't have our friend and pal, Neil Beller, who also is the brainchild of all of the commercials that we've been putting together between Neil and I. People have said we need to take it on the road. Let's do it, buddy. Let's have some fun, right? You got the production company. I've got the talent or something. So let's have some fun. So here we are. Our final presenter, Neil Beller, is the father to 2 beautiful daughters and uncle to 11 amazing nieces and nephews. He is a published author of 4 books and has a Hallmark Christmas movie sitting in the queue. I know what it is. Not just one, right? You got a couple ideas, buddy. I can't wait. Please make it happen. Please make it happen. He owns a television production company, Kit and Caboodle Productions, which produces commercials, web campaigns, and corporate marketing videos, and has been awarded Tellys, Emmys, and an American Advertising Award for his efforts. He is excited to be a member of and anchor his 4th Carroll Ignite. So please welcome Neil as he enlightens us on why you need an imaginary friend. Neil! Good luck, buddy. Thank you.
Vince, I didn't see you in the bathroom, but I tried cannabis and I had an amazing conversation about love languages with Molly's horse.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's sync up.
I think we should. On January 14th, 1973, I was 12 years old. I had just watched an episode of MASH, which changed my life, although I didn't know at the time. The episode was called Captain Tuttle and featured a fake surgeon Hawkeye Pierce made up when he was a small boy. When the U.S. Army found out about his selfless volunteer work, they investigated and learned he hadn't been paid in 3 years. Captain Tuttle donated that money to Sister Teresa's orphanage. I decided to create a fake friend of mine. Thus, Bob Firmison was born. At first, Bob Firmison was just someone I spoke about knowing. I would tell funny stories at the dinner table to see if anybody bought the act. We were all in the woods playing hide and seek, and Tony Miller jumped out and scared us, and Bob Firmison wet his pants. As I moved into junior high school, that's what middle school was called back then, Bob Firmison enrolled as well. I would sit around the lunch table telling new friends about his crazy antics. You mean the kid who wet his pants? Yeah, that's him, Bob Firmison. Bob would always volunteer via sign-up sheets. His name soon became a staple on every bulletin board. He was in the chess club, the stage crew, the car wash committee, and he was even mentioned at an assembly as having perfect attendance. Bob Firmison was plugged in. When I attended Parkville Senior High School, so did Bob Firmison. He was fluent in Spanish and was excelling in the high jump until a lower back injury kept him from competing. My close friends were in on the social project and helped me feed the fire. While sitting at B-Lunch one day, over the PA system, we heard Bob Firmison being called to the office. We laughed like idiots, and for a moment I thought maybe the jig was up. I walked over to one of the monitors and told her Bob went home sick from English. She called it in. I found out the next day the reason for his beckoning was he was running for class president and hadn't turned in the proper paperwork. I quickly remedied the situation for him, and soon Bob for President posters were going up all over the school. It was a beautiful sight. Unfortunately, Bob didn't win because he didn't show up to give his speech. It seems his mother was in the hospital for an emergency appendectomy, so he missed a few days of school. I took up a collection and we sent her some flowers. Ironically, we shared an address. Someone suggested Bob run for prom king. I applauded the idea, but he needed a date. That's when his fake girlfriend made the scene. Her name was Mary Valukas, and she was beautiful, or so I heard. Not too many people knew her because she transferred in mid-year. While in my first year of college, I was working at Toys R Us in Towson. I worked the game wall and loved it. There was a PA system close by for making announcements, and I took full advantage. I would randomly turn on the system and say, "Will Bob Firmison please report to the game aisle?" Upon graduation, I secured several jobs in television, and Bob was always around. I would insert his name into credit rolls as a best boy or production assistant. make him characters and scripts, and of course, call him from the outside and have him paged. In 2000, I published the book Cooking Without a Conscience and wrote a fun food fact which mentioned Bob. It was very apparent that he was everywhere. During this time, I hired Bob to manage an important job at my production company, Accounts Payable. Whenever anyone called with billing questions, I referred them to Bob Firmison. I even set him up an email. However, in the last 23 years, Bob has never answered a call. He was always in a meeting, out of the country, on paternity leave, and sadly, Bob had COVID 57 times. Interns have prepared speeches they read whenever anyone calls for him. Occasionally, Bob will call into the office to speak with them. They all love Bob. Bob receives more mail than anybody in the company. He gets credit card applications, bank account info, and board invites. He became so important in my production company that for Christmas one year, he gave everyone in the office a bracelet to remind him when preparing for any conflict to think, what would Bob Firmison do? Or WWBFD. Once when I was canning pepper jelly, I needed to design a label and I wanted it to sound authentic. When my daughter said out loud, I would be proud to represent Firmison Farms, the side company was formed. It can be purchased at Reviving Company in downtown Sykesville. Finally, Bob loves to have fun when he receives a bot text message from a total stranger. Recently, I received one asking what I was planning on doing the next day, and I replied that unfortunately had passed away earlier in the day. But by far, my favorite bot exchange went like this. I have your number in my phone, but can't remember your name. Bob immediately started a dialogue. When questioned where we met, he replied, most likely the French Riviera or prison. She replied, I don't know what you mean. Bob said, don't you remember we got caught stealing the secret recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken? Her international reply was, F you, get out. This alone is the reason why all of you need an imaginary friend like my BFF, Bob Firmison.
Neil, fantastic job. Everyone, please give it up to all 10 of our speakers this evening. I mean, I don't know if you can tell or not, but I thoroughly love this event. I love hearing all of the stories and being enlightened in ways that I didn't think were possible. I love seeing my friends who I consider family. I love seeing this community come together and sharing all the things that they're doing with everyone else in Carroll County, in Westminster. So thank you all for being here. Thank you again to our sponsors. So give it up to Quantum for sure. We had other sponsors as well. Again, thank you to Molly and Chris and everyone at the Carroll Tech and Innovation Council. Thank you to the Carroll Arts Council. Thank you to the Community Media Center. Thank you to all of you. And once again, my plea every single year is for this to continue and for you all to share your experience here tonight. Think about something that you're passionate about. Maybe it happened in a bathroom during an intermission. Maybe it happened while you're 20 milligrams high on an edible. Who knows? But whatever your story is, I want this to continue. And so please reach out and let us know if there is something that you're passionate about. You want to join us on this stage. It really is the most enjoyable and my favorite evening in all of Carroll County. You guys make it that way. I'm humbled to always be the host of Ignite Carroll. I want to see more and more continue to grow. So thank you all once again. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to everyone. And we will see you next year. Thanks again for an amazing Ignite Carroll 11.